As I said in my last video, Super Smashcon 2023 went crazy. The amount of high-level play, upsets, everything at this event was absolutely insane, and I'm going to be going over all of at least Ultimate Singles. There was so much more that happened, like Isaiah winning 64, the Melee top 8 was really good, it was an incredible tournament overall. But let's talk about Ultimate Singles, starting with my run. But first off, I played Dark's Samus on stream. It was a 2-0 for me. I think I went Me Brawler game 1 and Samus game 2 because they were a big fan, wanted to play me, so I figured, hey, I'll let them play Pika. Then they took the first stock from my Pika, and I was like, oh, gotta turn on the Jets. But I ended up winning that comfortably. Next up, I played Toast on Fire, 2-0 against their Wolf. They were quite good, but I was playing quite well. And then I played Peach Fuzz's Rob, which was a pretty fun set on stream, but I ended up winning 2-0 pretty solidly. That was all I had to play on that Friday for singles. I also played doubles where I got 9th with MVD. So on Saturday, I had to play my round 2 pool, starting off versus Pataya's CRAZIER. Pataya made an upset on a Mario player that upset the person who I was supposed to play in this round, which was Craftus, so I ended up dispatching this CRAZIER quite quickly. I think game 1 was a 3-stock. Then game 2, they actually 0-deathed me at the very beginning with like multiple reads, not even like a lol CRAZIER combo, because those don't really work on Pika, which was incredible. And then I ended up not losing another stock, which made me have to play Chronos after waiting for an hour and 45 minutes because the scheduling at SmashCon was kind of bad for a lot of people, but I ended up playing Chronos, won that 2-1. Game 1 was super close. Pika Snake, I tried to go Me Brawler game 2, it did not work, and then I won game 3 a little bit more solidly than game 1, but that put me into the wave 3 pools, which was now best of 5. Because Peanut had upset Kurama in the previous round, I had to play Peanut's Little Mac, which I 3-0'd. I played very safely in this set. I did not want to get hit by any of the Little Mac stuff. I honestly didn't get hit by any like cheesy Little Mac stuff. Didn't get hit by KO Punch. I didn't get hit by like up tilt on platform. I played this way better than I ever have, so I 3-0'd him, and then I ended up having to play against Shattuck. I was pretty confident versus Shattuck, but I did not stick to any sort of game plan, and Shattuck just had the momentum. Basically, the entire game, they played so well. I know they've been fighting against Shiny Mark a couple of times at some majors recently, and it showed the experience that Shattuck had, and this was crazy. He played so well overall, like no shade. I just played worse than he did. He ended up getting 9th, had a fantastic run, so no shame in losing to that. Shattuck played really well. And then the brackets were kind of funky at this tournament. There were a lot of double jeopardies, or like people that would play to get out of round 2 pools that ended up having to play in losers of round 3 pools. I know that I had to experience this. I know MVD had to experience it. I know Rivers had to experience it as well. There were a couple of these instances. I don't know how they did that. It's kind of pathetic at this point to have double jeopardies that soon in different waves of pools. Just make the losers go into different pools. It's not that hard. I really don't understand what this happened, so I had to play Chronos again. And again, I was confident because I had beat him in winners. I won game 1 really solid, but he fired back with like a 2-stock game 2. I won really solid game 3, and then I was winning by a lot game 4. I actually recorded this, so I will be uploading this onto the channel, but I somehow crossed up his shield with a dash attack after a grenade exploded, and I picked up a grenade while doing it, ended up blowing up on the other side of him into a forward air and died at like 50, which I did not want to happen. And then he had this crazy like back throw grenade forward air into forward smash 2-frame to get that kill game 4, which brought us to a game 5. And game 5, unfortunately, I just misinputted a lot. Again, Chronos was playing really well. I think Chronos has studied against me a lot. We also, prepared before we knew we had to play in bracket like 2 weeks ago. So he was super ready. He did a lot of things amazingly well. And unfortunately, all 3 of my stocks that game 5 were misinputs. I tried to dash back and do a T-jolt, and I just jumped in front of him, and I got up tilted for it. The other one, or the next one, I skull bashed when I meant to T-jolt, and I died for it. And then the third one, he rolled, I read the roll, tried to dash attack towards him, and I got like down tilted the opposite direction and got up tilted in the lag of it. So Chronos played very well. This is no shade against him. Just unfortunately, I messed up when it mattered. He clutched, I didn't, and that put me out at 33rd. I was looking forward to my bracket as well, because if I had beat Chronos, I would have had to play Shootone, and I probably would have lost to Shootone, but I really wanted to play him in tournament because I never have ever, including in Smash 4. I would have liked that. Then if I beat Shootone, I would have had to play Mia, and I ended up playing friendlies with Mia in Game & Watch versus Me Brawler, and I actually was winning the majority of them, so I was very confident if I had to play him. And then after that, I would have had to play Light, who I like fighting, and then after that, I would have had to play Tweak, who I like fighting. So it looked like a very good bracket for me if I got past Chronos, but I did not, and that is how the cookie crumbles, so I got 33rd. But let's talk about the actual crazy things that happened at this event, because God, there were so many, it was so crazy. Metafy is here for you if you want to get better at Smash. There is a ton of amazing content from the history of the game to the deconstructeds, which I have one of those by the way, if you want to get better at Pikachu, to just a ton of other great content. You are able to get lessons from your favorite pros that are on there. Help support the site. Get a Metafy membership today. The amount of upsets at this tournament was actually ridiculous. Remember when I said this in my last video? Any of these matches can kind of go the other way. I would probably say besides this one, although you never know. Lee is very good, so. Well, I was wrong. Lee beat Spargo 3-2. Literally one of the only people I said could not probably get their upset, and B did it. So 3-2 over Spargo. This was the Corrin tournament. I don't know what happened. Obviously, Neo got top 8 winners. B beat Spargo, and then, generally did well. I think got 13th, and then we had Shattuck get 9th. So this tournament was just kind of wild from start to finish, right? And after Spargo lost to Ri, actually Spargo ended up beating Crêpe Soleil, the Wario main from Europe. I don't know which country. I'm assuming France, but I'm not 100% sure. And then Aaron, after barely beating Atata 3-2, also beat Spargo 3-2. So Spargo got 49th at this event, which is actually crazy. I feel really bad for him, like nothing against obviously Aaron or B, but Spargo getting 49th kind of already shoots his season in the foot in terms of being the #1 player, because the likelihood that Akola has an event this with this low of a placement is very low. I mean, again, Akola has placed outside of top 8 once ever, so a 49th is kind of already cementing Spargo as not being the #1 player. I understand why he deactivated, because that is incredibly rough. And then after Aaron makes the upset on Spargo, he doesn't even end up making top 32 because he lost to Mutace. What a tournament. This is crazy, man. It was insane. In another huge upset, we have Icy Mist beating Sonics 3-1. Again, Sonics just announced the 4th best player in the Luma rank, so crazy upset there. We also had Jules beat Siski even earlier in pools, in round 2 pools. Siski had lost to Jules's Steve, so this tournament was crazy. There were so many good players just in losers bracket. Jules also knocking out the other Samus and Icy Mist. Chunky Kong took a game off of Sonic somehow. I don't even know how that happened. Armadillo did actually pretty poorly, all get things considered, even though Armadillo's been doing crazy. But I mean, Armadillo losing to Noe and Stefan, not bad losses at all. Both of those are amazing players, but this tournament was absolutely crazy. Now into the top 32, of course, one of the biggest stories is Mars, who beat Onan in the previous round, also 3-0ing Light, his eternal rival, and almost making top 8 winners. Ended up making top 8 losers after beating Apollo Kage to make top 8, but this top 8 in general was crazy, right? In winners, we had Ken versus DeBuzz, which low-key their set was hot as hell. I mean, it was slow because it's a Sonic versus Rosalina set, but it was an incredible set. Akala versus Neo was probably the set of the tournament, to be honest, at least in the top 8. That was a crazy set. Then Mars, who ended up getting 7th to Zamba. Zamba ended up getting all the way to 4th. Mia, who lost to DeBuzz in the round of 16, ended up making all the way to 3rd, eventually losing to DeBuzz again, and the top 8 just looked incredibly solid. I'm so happy that DeBuzz is back. I'm going to be going over a couple of his sets. Do not worry. I'm so happy that DeBuzz did well. I mean, again, I don't like fighting DeBuzz, but I love watching DeBuzz, and I love DeBuzz in general. So I will be going over his sets as he ended up getting 2nd at the biggest event of the year. It will be the biggest event of the entire year, so congrats to DeBuzz for that. Obviously, Akola won. Not a shock, right? He only went to a definitive game once against Neo, and he kind of destroyed everybody else. I mean, this set was pretty close to the winner's final set. I mean, it was game 3, 1-1. It was very last hit, and then DeBuzz got hit by an up smash on a roll read, so, and then game 4 was not as super close. We've seen the dominance of, again, more Mr. Game & Watch in Mia. Mia, again, just ranked the 3rd best player in the world on the Luma rank and got 3rd, so kind of sticking to that. We still had a Sonic in top 8 in terms of Ken. We had, again, the Tournament of Corrin, which was super weird. Neo did amazingly well. Tachion's Pikachu, Chunky Kong's Donkey Kong, and then ended up beating Noi, who made a couple upsets, and then of course 3-1-ing Tweak, which is crazy. Like, they played so amazing. I'm so happy for them. Again, just generally, we had Big D with their rematch versus Akola, and Akola proved that the one set was a fluke. We had Riddles get 9th, getting, unfortunately, double Steved with Akola and Didi. Didi, again, continues to prove that he's one of the strongest players in the world. He just doesn't go to a lot because he's like 14 or 15, but Didi is a crazy player. Again, there's no shame in losing to him. I mean, I had no shame losing to him at DreamHack Atlanta. He's insane. We had a couple of good European presences, even though like Siski didn't do particularly well. well in Raflo and Andres FN, both getting 17th. They did really, really well overall. We had good Canada rep in Big D and Ouch. And of course, Riddles also getting 9th. We had the infamous Sonics versus DD set, which was kind of hilarious because watching Sonic get timed out is kind of funny. And again, Didi, incredibly talented with multiple characters, so it's not even just Steve that he's working with, so a great player. Again, we had a couple of crazy people in this top 32. We had Candle, we had Jules, WebJP played really well. We had the aforementioned Kronos, who beat me, which is kind of crazy because I'm definitely like a Snake Slayer. And yeah, WebJP beat SkyJ and Cosmos and Luma, and no, that's Luma beating Grape. Okay, so that's kind of insane actually. Those are a lot of good wins for WebJP. Again, continuing to put himself as the best Sheik at the very least in the US. I don't know if I'm would be considered better than him or AIM would be considered better than him. But yeah, this tournament was absolutely insane. Let me know down in the comments who you want me to analyze. I'm obviously going to analyze some of Akola, some of Mars, some of Dabuz, but let me know if there's anyone else because there were so many amazing sets this weekend. Oh yeah, I'll probably do a Neo stuff as well. So this is gonna be crazy. We're gonna be having a lot of analysis in the next couple of days. So keep on the lookout for that. Again, Smashcon was crazy. Thank you to everyone that came up to me and wanted a picture or a signature. I really appreciate it. It is so nice to just see all of these fans again. Like, I love the fan interactions. Yeah, it was a very fun event with a lot to do, of course. There were so many things that were happening between all the events, the combo contest, all the stuff that Coney did, the restreams were funny, the matches were great, and Smash, again, we're seeing more of Steve, Game & Watch, and Sonic in these top 8s, which is kind of where the meta is heading, but I still think it is incredibly fun to watch, incredibly enjoyable, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.